Hey everyone, Cable the Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with Reseller Rule 33. So guys, this rule is don't be and don't look desperate. Yeah, that's like a couple of the other reseller rules. It's a good life rule in general, don't look desperate, but it's also a very good rule for eBay business and business in general. If you look like you will die if you do not get this sale, then someone's going to think, well, this person's desperate, they probably got to feed their cat and their dog and their great aunt Matilda. I can get a good deal off of them. So guys, that is something that people just cognitively will think, not necessarily in those exact words, but they think, okay, you're desperate, which means you need this, which means if you need this so stinking bad, then I can make some good money off of you right here, right now, or I can get a very good deal out of you, that sort of thing. So if you look desperate and you are buying a book from, say, an estate sale, a friend's library sale, something like that, if you look like you need this book because you clearly are like hiding something, you clearly know A, this book is worth $1 million, or B, that you've always wanted this book, someone, at least a shrewd business person at least, will look at you and be like, I could get a couple extra bucks out of them, or potentially even, nope, I'm not going to give you a deal. It says $1 a book, you're going to pay $1 a book. I'm not going to give you a 50-cent discount or something like that. That is something that you can see when you are excessively desperate for something. You're not going to get the same deal that you could get if you look a little disinterested, because guys, a little bit of disinterest can definitely help in a lot of things in life. If you play with me with roll with me right here, I don't remember the exact word. If you do a little bit hard to get, if you will, in business, it can help you. Of course, there are issues if you play too much hard to get. Like if you are a salesperson and you're playing hard to get with your customer, they will find someone else. Like if you're a realtor and you don't return a phone call every now and then, they're going to move on maybe, especially if they've never actually used you before. But for other things, like buying a book, if you play a little bit hard to get and you're buying a few things, it's like, well, I could get this, I could not, it's up to you, I don't care. Someone might give you a better deal out of that because they want to get the sale. As not desperate as they might look, they might be desperate to get those things moving. So don't be desperate. It works for both you as the buyer and as the seller, and also works for whoever you're dealing with. You don't want them to be too desperate, or else they might A, not give you a good deal, or B, they might ask for too much, or C, I mean, there's a million other things that could go wrong. So desperation is not a good thing, just in general, let's be honest. I mean, if you're desperate, you're going to do stupid things like locking down the entire world for 15 years because of a flu bug. I don't know, something like that. But if you guys really want to dig into these things, then there are a lot of things that can benefit you if you try to not look desperate. So what does all this have to revolve around? Well, it has to revolve around selling on eBay. That's what this channel is about, more or less. So guys, as I already mentioned, you could do it for when you're buying the books, but when you're selling them, not looking desperate includes A, don't underprice your book way too much. If you have a book that's worth $1,000 and you're selling it $500, someone might look at that and be like, something's either wrong with your book or you're desperate. If they see that, then they might lowball you further still. And guys, I've seen some lowballs that are 20% of my ask. And I'm not asking something uncanny, something insane. I'm normally asking something pretty fair for the value of the book, or even below the value of the book. And I still have 20% offers coming in. And I'm not talking like 20% off. I'm talking 80% off. They want to pay 20. So like if the book is $10, they're offering $2. That's the kind of thing I'm talking. And if I was desperate, I would accept that right away. And the person would know that they could take advantage of me and buy another 500 books for 20% of their actual value. I would look desperate and I would miss out on tons of money. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to accept crazy lowball offers on that part, but you also don't want to price your stuff so substantially low that people think that you will take anything. In addition to that, this is something that I actually have as a rule of thumb, which I will actually tell you guys in the next reseller rule video. So I got another reseller rule video coming out soon enough. But in that other video, guys, it actually is about sending offers out to buyers. Don't look too desperate in that. And there's a couple strategies to not looking too desperate in the offers you send out. So keep that in mind. You guys will see that video soon enough. But with that said, though, back onto don't be or look desperate when you are doing your business. There's a lot of other things that applies to that. Like, let's say that you are dealing with eBay or something like that, and you got a bad feedback, or you need help, or this or this or this. If your business relies on it, you will be a little bit desperate, especially if eBay is your only platform. And pro tip, guys, if you are going to rely on just one platform, maybe you shouldn't. So for me, that's coming from someone who's working on just one platform. I used to be two, now I'm just one, and I know I need to work on another platform. I know I need to launch my own website, if nothing else, for my book business, but I still haven't done that, which is rather foolish on my part. And yeah, that's me admitting my own actions are foolish. So when I am telling you that it's foolish, it's the pot calling the kettle black, but it's also, I'm not just calling names. I do acknowledge my own mistakes here. But guys, if you are relying on something, just that one thing, you will be in a position that you are desperate if something is harming your business that, say, eBay is doing, or say you got a bad feedback. So when you are reaching out to eBay, you don't want to like sound like you're screaming at the person being like, I need help getting this feedback removed. I'm going to die. Someone's going to steal my goat and this and this and this. You don't want to look so desperate, because let's face it, if you look desperate and if you sound desperate and if you are desperate, you're not going to be at your mental height. You're not going to have the same mental capability to deal with what you need to deal with to get an actual good resolution to what you need to do, because you are very much apt to overreact or misconstrue data, do all sorts of mistakes that will end up harming you in the long run. Being desperate isn't just about buying and selling. It's about how you act, about how you are perceived, about all these other sort of things. People are more apt to do what you need them to do if you are not screaming, if you are not acting crazy, if you're not burning down downtown Portland to try to prove a point. You're not going to get these sorts of things. You need to come at things level-headed, or else you're just going to be seen as another crazy loon who's doing crazy things. And I know I've said some political things in the past on this channel. I'm going to say another one really quick. So talking political, loony sort of things that people aren't going to see you as someone who's logical and doesn't have a good argument. Let's just think about the climate activist people who block off highway traffic in an arm-linked chain, and they're like, save the trees, you're going to kill everyone, da 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 da, and they're blocking traffic and everyone's burning their fossil fuels as they just sit there for 3 hours. First off, that whole thing just made things even worse with how much fossil fuel is being burned. But second off, you have to think all these people are now mad at you because you got motivated, because you were desperate, because you perceived incorrectly or correctly, not getting into that part, about climate change. You thought, this is the best thing I can do. And let's face it, you got a little caught up in your thought right there. You ended up doing something that was worse for the planet, first off. But second off, all the other people seeing you, they're not going to see you as a viable spokesperson. They're going to see you as a straw man argument, if you will. They're going to see you as the straw man of, well, this idiot clearly can't even think about a good idea, that what they're doing is clearly causing more harm than good. Ergo, whatever they think is false. Whatever they think must not be good, because this line of action that they're taking is a fallacy. Ergo, their thoughts in general must be a fallacy. This climate change thing must be a fallacy if they are doing this and this. That is a common thing for people to start thinking. That is why you see so many people turning against that school of thought. And there's other reasons as well, not getting into that. But it's just a very good example, I think, for being desperate. People see your desperation not as much as they see your stupidity, or at least they perceive you to be stupid based on these sorts of things. And that sort of thing happens in business. If you are pricing, that's one thing for pricing, but for just your business communication, if you sound desperate, if you're saying sort of stupid things because you're so desperate, you are going to miss out on sales. You're going to give bad impressions. You're going to do all these sorts of things, and people will not like you as much as they ought to, because you are just so desperate. You will say anything, do anything to make something happen. Ergo, not being desperate is a very much important thing. It's all about trying to keep a level head at all times. There are quite a few schools of thought actually about you got to keep a level-headed mind at all times. So Marcus Aurelius, if you will, he talks a lot about that sort of thing of level-headedness. It's something that you guys should actually look into if you are in business or just in general for life. Stoicism is a very important school of thought to, if nothing else, be aware of. Know the general thoughts and teachings of Stoicism. There are quite a few different things that may or may not be wrong about it, but there are quite a few good lessons behind so many things in the world. So that is something I would personally recommend you guys check out, is Stoicism. Could definitely help you in business and in life in general, because it does help with that whole desperation side of things. It helps you negotiate, it helps you price your things better, all that sort of stuff, guys. You gotta keep a level head, because if you don't, it can definitely harm you. It can harm how people perceive you, and it can harm your bottom line, how much you make in your business. So with that said and done though, guys, I hope this video was helpful. I'm sorry if I offended you. It happens, 21st century, everyone's offended, it's okay. If you guys are not too offended, please be sure to check out one of my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.